Hopefully everything else is working as planned. All right, mic check. Can you give me one?
We're waiting right now.
Okay, you are good, Grumpy.
Probably heard me twice.
He's low.
I'm a little soft.
You're a little soft? Okay, let's bring that up a little bit and then give me another mic check.
We are ready.
I just accidentally got out the page that I need to do because I was like fiddling with my hands while I was doing this stuff, and I gotta figure.
So you need to do this, sir.
Okay, we're good.
All right, well, thank you for all those who are here. Sorry, I gotta get this page up so I get this right information. Sorry we have missed a couple, 2 weeks, maybe?
Yeah.
2 weeks. So not that bad. I got sick for 2 of those weeks, and he had something. What did you do that one day? Because I know you said one day you were out and you couldn't make it back at home fast enough in time. You were doing something.
What the hell were we doing?
Getting the costume.
Oh, we had to go down to Tallahassee to get the stuff for the work event.
The work event? Okay. So a lot of things has happened since we've been gone, but those things are hoping not going to happen anytime soon again, but I'm still sick. Don't worry, I'll be fine. We are now, for anybody that's wondering, we are now on pretty much every single platform. You name it, we're probably on there. All we're not on is Rumble. So if you have any particular taste in where you like watching your live streams at, we are now on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Kick, and X, which is so weird because I'm so used to saying Twitter. Did I already say Twitter? I might have already said Twitter. Kick, Facebook, Twitter, or X, Twitch, and then where is YouTube. Yeah, that's all of them. So yeah, that's her. She's laying in bed because somehow she broke a toe or broke a bone in her foot by walking.
You got a story that you can give about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so apparently my wife was moving a desk and then she turned and started walking and she just felt something pop. And the doctors took an x-ray of it. Yep, she has a big old fracture all across it. So it's broken, fractured. I don't know the difference. It's hurting her like hell. And somehow Corvo did the same thing with one of his toes.
Yeah, I got up and was just walking around and suddenly felt this enormous pain. And I looked at Stealthy. I was like, I think you need to look at my foot. And the toe that's right next to your large toe was all swollen at the base next to my foot. And I was like, damn, that's not supposed to be like that.
Everybody's breaking something, and all I'm doing is just, trying to keep my lungs breathing.
At least I'm not getting punctured no more. I'm tired of being poked.
Yeah, my wife literally had to train people all the time to do needles for people to draw blood. She can't tell you how many times she's come home with people with one of hers busted because she was training people on her own body. I'm like, there's no way in hell I'll let you do that. Like, yeah, trainee, I'm your dummy, here we go. Like, no, thank you. I like to not be in pain.
Listen, like I said, they stuck me a total of 7 times before they got blood. That shit, my arm is so sore.
Oh boy. Okay, so what we pretty much missed? We pretty much missed the Halloween event when you and Seth. Well, no, that was actually last podcast. We did a Halloween event.
We did that. We won the contest. In case anybody was wondering, it was fun. We had a good time, and then we wore those costumes from. I wore mine from 6 o'clock that morning to 9:30 that night.
Oh boy, that's a long time to wear in a costume. And then let's see, what happened between the 2 weeks? I feel like my 2 weeks has been just a blur. Honestly,
my 2 weeks have been weird because we started getting red spots.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought at first I had gotten into something, that I was having a reaction or something. So I wasn't really worried about it. I was putting some lotion and stuff on it. And then it got up to my waistband and it was everywhere. So ended up going to the doctor. And they are of the mind my platelets tanked, meaning they went really, really low.
Mm-hmm.
and the red spots weren't an allergic reaction. It was literally me bleeding in my own skin.
Yeah, that is pretty weird and pretty freaky, but that's something we all have to.
Hence me getting poked so many times for them to get blood to run all these damn tests to try to figure out, am I living, am I dying, or am I turning into a zombie? What the hell I'm doing?
Yeah, so stay tuned if you're interested. We'll keep you updated for what that may be in the next couple of weeks. I'm sure we'll get information on that, what's going about. But a lot of stuff did happen while we are gone. We have the announcement of the live action Avatar coming to Netflix. I saw that. That looked pretty good. They're doing it pretty much an all Asian casting for this. And I don't really know any of the actors, but I'm glad that they're doing some new blood. So we have a way of really like discovering some new people to try out these roles.
Right.
And I'm looking forward to that. And then apparently the Castlevania movie's been nominated for best adaptation of video games. So we'll see if they win for that. That's going to be pretty interesting to see if they win, because they're going against Mario movie, which is going to be a bit of a high bar because they made over $1 billion with that movie. So what do you think? Would you vote for Castlevania or the Mario movie? I know you saw the Mario movie, right?
Yeah, well, I hadn't seen it, but I've seen clips of it. Honestly, I would have to go Castlevania.
Going Castlevania?
I really would.
I know they also had a couple other ones, like what's that one video game on PlayStation where you race around trying to kill the other vehicles? And there's one clown that has a bounces on his head.
Something metal. What is it? Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal. Yeah, the Twisted Metal adaptation that came out, which I'd never seen before. But I'm interested in seeing that sometime. And along the way, while I was sick, somehow we managed to hit the 200 subscribers. So thanks to everybody that has hit that sub button. Nenamaso, I like it. It's a new year, a new goal. Let's hit 1,000 next year. Let's dump that big old subscribe button right there. I would appreciate that. And of course, like I said, during the week I was sick, Twitch has now allowed for everybody, and I want to get your thoughts on this. Twitch is now allowing people to multi-stream, with a caveat though. You're allowed to multi-stream, but you're not allowed to advertise your other streams and a link or a click or anything like that. You can't like send them to those other websites while streaming on Twitch. But now you can multi-stream to anyone you want at any time. What do you think that'll do for the industry of streaming?
I think that'll help broaden out everybody's ability to be seen by more users and help build a larger, bigger, maybe wider fan base. It'll help get some of those people that aren't comfortable with watching it on Twitch, but still would find your content interesting, to watch it on whatever it is they are comfortable with.
Mm-hmm. I'm just wondering, if there's multi-streams and you're not allowed to, introduce your other streams, or like, hey, here's a link, go click on those streams, go over there, hang it out. This will pretty much only benefit the streamer. It won't very much benefit Twitch. What is Twitch is trying to get everybody's good grace now? It's like, hey, all these big names that left our platforms, you're now allowed to come stream on our platform now, as well as yours, and not get in trouble, even though there might be a exclusivity clause to those streamers. Because, like, to the big name streamers, they get paid to be exclusive to those platforms. So who are they trying to bring back and try to get on their good grace when a lot of them has already left, and if they are staying, they probably have a contract with Twitch? I just don't see what's Twitch's end goal for them.
It may not be. It may not be about Twitch. They may be legitimately trying to say, "Hey, we fucked up, and this is our first step towards making peace."
I think that would be a good thing. It'd be for once a company that actually does something purely for the community, and I would appreciate that if they focus on making the community happy. And this is what they got to do it. I'm in for it. I just hope that they just don't ignore us and go back on these ideas later on. I want them to actually keep to this and bring us
Right.
more viewers and allow us to grow. And there also to be someone like TikTok bringing more to the front short clips, which I think is a good idea. Because like, let's say you had a clip on your channel that was really popular, right? And someone doesn't want to watch your stream the whole entire way, but I want to get an idea of what your stream's about. A clip is easier to scroll through and see what people's stuff is about than a whole entire stream.
Agreed. I agree with that.
And of course, if you really want to, you can throw ads on there, a little bit of money for the streamer, which they also can do what YouTube does and don't give the person any ad avenue unless they're a partner or something like that. Which I've said this before. Kick has this one platform or one thing that I definitely do appreciate, and Twitch. You've been on Twitch for a long time. You know how hard it is to get affiliate on Twitch. It is. It is not a over the night unless you just got really lucky and knew some people. It's really hard to get affiliate. So
it ain't simple. I mean, most people that get affiliate end up letting their stream know, hey, I'm setting the goal. I'm trying to get this, and it ends up being a community effort. It's not just a simple, let me log in and give my content. No, you have to work at that shit.
Yeah, and it's almost like a one and done sometimes. Like, oh, I got affiliate, and the people just go, I'm good. I'm just gonna sit on this and not do anything else to my channel, and I'm gonna stick with affiliate, which I've been trying to get out of affiliate for a long time. But Kick has it, even though some people don't really particularly like Kick because it is ran or it's being funded by gambling websites, which, as you well know, I don't very much care for gambling websites or gambling in general. They have it where if you hit 75 subscribers and you stream for over 5 hours a week, you can get an hourly wage, which I would be all for that. So if you're on Kick, hit that follow button. And it goes up to $16 an hour. So that is pretty nice. And I think a lot of other industries could really piggyback off that idea and give streamers that are actually showing effort to stream more.
Reward the people that are putting the work in.
And I don't know what that reward would be, but it's better than just, hey, have average 5 viewers and hits, what was it? How many subscribers or followers you needed? I almost forget.
I think it was like 30 or either 40, something like that.
Yeah, 5. Would you think it's like 5 viewers per hour or 5 average viewers? That's not really that easy, considering if you're a person starting off at 0, getting people to stay and watch your stream is the difficult part. Watching your stream for a second or two is not a hard thing. I got like 10 viewers that when I was trying to get affiliate watched me for like a minute or two or even like 10 minutes and then drop off, and they go count it as 2 viewers per average because only 2 people stayed, which was frustrating because I had 10 at one point. Oh, they weren't there the entire time.
And you're going, but okay, so I'm getting penalized because other people have real life things that they have to go do.
Yeah, and they don't count lurkers, which I think Kick does, because I've had some times on Kick where people were not saying anything in chat, and I still saw my numbers be up in the 5s or 6, and I'm like, okay, there's people not even saying anything. They're still being counted for. Again, I'm not trying to endorse it. I'm just saying there's just some things, and now Elon is trying to make streaming on on Twitter a thing. Elon was streaming this past week playing Diablo 4, trying to get streaming going on that platform, which we are streaming on for right now. For those who see it, promise I can't see anybody talking in on Twitter or X. I'm sorry, there's no way I can see you right now. I don't know of any way. Figure it out. So these are those platforms. Like, if you get your streams going or you stream more often, would you stream on these other platforms, or are you primarily going to be comfortable with one spot?
I wouldn't mind streaming across multiple platforms, but my problem is I want to be able to see the interaction on all the platforms.
Yeah, I do too.
I want to see them in real time as it happens. And right now, I don't know of an add-in or any tool that you can add that will allow you to see live chat from multiple platforms at one time.
Yeah, and I like being able to see everybody talking and be able to communicate with them. And I think every platform should have that, because what's the point of a stream if you can't interact with them, right?
Right.
I don't see no purpose behind it, and I don't see no reason behind it. I just appreciate that they're trying to do it out. Okay, so real quick though, I have a question for you. Did you ever go to the game store and have any updates on that collector edition?
I have not heard any updates, but I have checked with them. They're still waiting for their stuff to get there.
Okay, 2. Are you gonna get the 2 amiibos? They're coming out for Breath of the Wild, the Princess Zelda and Ganon, or is it Ganon?
I'm going to try to.
Yeah, because they're already setting out pre-orders for that. I definitely want to get my hands on one of those. So if I can't get it and someone else out there can get me one, let me know. But I will be trying to get with those myself because, well, I have the other ones. At least I'm going to finish out the collection. But thanks to Stealth and your freaking Walmart's near you, y'all actually get stuff I want. My store sucks, apparently.
Also, let's see, what was the other thing? Did you hear about Hogwarts Legacy getting released on Switch?
Actually, I saw a picture of it. Is there going to be any difference between it? Like, is there actually be like any wand play with the joysticks?
I do not know that part yet. I just know that they're going to release it on the Switch platform.
Okay. Now, seeing that because Hogwarts is a pretty beautiful game.
Beefy. It's robust and it's beefy.
And you know, the Nintendo Switch isn't that powerful. It's not been that powerful the past 6 or so years. And with the Nintendo Switch 2 already been announced that they are working on one, are you hoping that they beef up Nintendo Switch as itself, but keep it as the same generation as the Nintendo Switch right now? Because they just released the PlayStation Slim. And that PlayStation 5 or 6, whatever is out right now, has been out as long as the Nintendo Switch. So they're just now releasing the Slim version. I'm thinking if they release a Nintendo Switch 2, it needs to be just more beefy, but still play the Nintendo Switch games.
I'm thinking it needs the ability to play traditional Nintendo Switch. I'm thinking they need to keep the same form factor, but they need to put beefier graphics processing in it.
Yeah, I just don't think they need to end Nintendo Switch as a generation because it's going so good so far. I am a mind of just rather than just going to a new generation with its own generation of games and leaving Nintendo Switch in the dust, they could just keep that going. Why ruin a good thing for those who still have the Nintendo Switch? People that will want a more powerful Nintendo Switch, they will just buy the 2. I know the reason why they do new generation and stuff, because that's more money. A lot more people buy it because they have to, because they know that in order to play the new games, you're going to have to buy that. But it also spits in the face of the people that are been trusted fans or people that have been avid lovers of their current generation in the dust, because not everybody has money right now.
Right. Understood. And I get that. I'm like that. That's why I wait so long and then I buy a console. I wait for the prices to drop and I buy the console. Because I am a fan of what I have. I do want what I don't, and I'm gonna wait until it gets to where I feel comfortable to get it, you know?
Yeah, I almost did get a Nintendo Switch until one of my wife's nephews sold his to me for a cheap price, because I always get it like secondhand. I never had the money to buy brand new. Even when I like back in Xbox and 360s and PlayStation 1 and 2, 64, I never got it day release console before. And that's how I've always been with all my consoles, because one gets the bugs out, right? If there's any bugs, problems, issues, they work that stuff out. If it's used, it's already working. It's been going good for a long time. And there's so many good games to get after that. It's like this smorgasbord of games that people have told, like reviewed, like this is the good game to get it. So when you get the console, you just buy that game and you just have a lot of fun. I'm never gonna say somebody, say, hey, here's a console brand new. I won't say no to it. The only thing I've ever bought brand new was this Nintendo Switch, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, because I saved up for it the moment I heard about it, and it took me a long time to save up that with my own money. That was a pain in the ass. But then just to find out, it's an LED version, because I was so hoping it would be a Nintendo Switch 2 because I was like,
You were
come
hoping-
on. I thought it'd be more powerful because Nintendo Switch, the Breath of the Wild it played all right, but its frames and it was glitchy at times. It wasn't a smooth game like a lot of the games I played before. It was playing it, but I thought this next one, like Breath of the Wild 2, would be even bigger and more stuff happening, and I would need more computing power to play this game. Has to be a Nintendo Switch 2 because this is a beefy game, and I get it. It's like, oh, is this an OLED version? I'm like, damn it.
But it plays well.
Yeah, it plays
It
well.
really does. Stealthy's been playing a little bit of Tears of the Kingdom off stream. Just trying to do some of that stuff that's just grindy, that you don't really want to do on stream.
Yeah.
She's almost completed the entire map underneath the dark.
Yeah, that's a
very,
lot of
very
area.
close. I'm waiting for her to hit the last light route because I don't know why, but in my mind, there has to be something special happens when you light up the entire thing. Has to be. If it doesn't, I'm going to be severely let down.
Yeah, I can totally see that. So, need to say, I want them to come out into the Switch 2, and I want it to be beefier and better. Sorry, I'm checking about things here.
Also, if you don't know this, when you're playing your Tears of the Kingdom,
yeah,
and you run across one of those big ass frog monster thingies down there, you are not safe at the top of the tallest tree.
That's a way of putting it. You're not safe.
They have massive jump. Massive. Like, Stealthy was at the top of a tree, so high up that this monster looked like, you've seen him. He's the size of a fucking building.
Yeah.
From where she was looking down at him, he looked like maybe the size of one of the little baby ones you see on the ground. That's how far away she was. And this bitch jumped all the way to the top and looked her dead in her eyes. And you know how Stealthy reacts to things like that. So the next thing I heard was, I was like, you better run. She's like, I'm in a tree.
I didn't know they could jump that far. Honestly, I've seen it before, but I just didn't.
Michael Jordan ain't got shit on these things, son.
Oh, that's actually kind of a little terrifying. Okay. But yes, we are looking forward to the Switch 2, but there's a lot of stuff coming out from Nintendo right now, which I appreciate a heck of a lot. And I hope they keep on up this trade of good things. But the movie industry is getting into more and more video game stuff so far, which I'm appreciating. They're getting more interested in movie stuff. But I'm also worried that they're also trying to bleed it dry. You know what I'm saying? What?
No, don't worry about it.
So I'm hoping that they keep this pattern up. And Nintendo saw $1 billion in their Mario movie and decided to finally announce, as those who have read the titles already, the live action Zelda. Now, this is going to be a huge point of contention. Which movie,
which person do we think will play Zelda the best?
Yes, which movie will they do of the multiple timelines of Zelda?
Yeah, so that is a huge thing. So, like, are we talking Legend of Zelda Gold cartridge #1? We talking Ocarina of Time? We talking Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword? Where the hell are we?
Phantom Hourglass.
Which one of these are we pulling?
Yeah, so because in each Zelda game, each Link is his own Link. Even though he has the soul or the bloodline of the goddess, right? Bloodline of the goddess. I forget what the curse is called.
He's the hero.
Yeah.
He's the hero of Time's bloodline.
Yeah, so which one will play this timeline of Link and which timeline? Like my wife, she got introduced to Zelda through Breath of the Wild. So of course she's going, Breath of the Wild! It's gonna be Breath of the Wild. I'm like, it probably is not. There's so many other good games out there of Zelda and so many different timelines that there's not just
sometimes they get him.
Yeah, it's not just.
You know, be really, really fucked up. If they do Majora's Mask.
Oh, good. That'd be dark. Ooh, dark.
So dark, but it'd also be really like it would confuse people. It'd be like one of those fuck with your brains.
I would love for them to have to do like Twilight Princess, where they had to be forced into doing that change between Wolf Link and Link, the CGI, all that stuff. Not to mention, I want to see Minna at the end as her full body self, because.
So we got CGI. Then we got realistic CGI, which is like the costume with all the like plastic and molding and all that's off their body, you know, the traditional style. And then we got the multiple of side characters, like we got Midna, and then we got the fairy girl from Ocarina of Time, forget her name. Tifa?
Saria. S-A-R-I-A.
Saria? And then we got the little, hey, look at this! Hey!
I'm sending you an image so that when we talk in a minute, you have a reference as to what I'm talking about.
Okay, so I'm just so curious. They have not announced which timeline they're going to do. Now, let's just go and just put it out on the table. Which timeline, if you want to see a movie, do you want to see them do? Like, for sure, this is the timeline I want to see because it is the most iconic Zelda. Because, you know, there is some characters that are not on every single franchise. And they really could slim down the cast of people depending on which franchise they do. Hard, isn't it?
I don't know. That's hard, man.
Yeah.
Because I like them all. But I don't know. I grew up. Ocarina of Time was my bread and butter, but I think for production purposes of the first movie, to try to pull people in and get them into it so they can maybe turn it into a multiple movie type of franchise where they can like hit each timeline with a movie, I think they should start with Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild?
Because that's two things. One, it is the most, right now to me, the most filmable. And two, it's also a relatively prevalent game still now. So people would be they would have a point of reference. It wouldn't be just the older generations going, I remember when. Everybody would know it. And then if they do it well, then they can go and do the originals. They can do
I see you, Stone. Give me a second. Go ahead.
They can do all of those. And I think Breath of the Wild would be the opening movie they need to get people interested in it enough to be able to go back and make the previous ones.
Because prequels are always happening in movies, and it's a good stepping point. We don't know very much about, like, we have an idea what happened in the pre-calamity of Ganon in the original Breath of the Wild, and Stone said Marvel movies aren't making money, and now they're trying to kill us with video game movies, which is kind of true because it borrows off nostalgia. He said that in the Twitch channel, and I think that's very much true, and I think that is a good point. I think the Breath of the Wild would be probably a good standing point because there's so many things we don't know about it, and there's a lot of cast that they can really put into this movie. We get all the heroes, right? From the Gorons to the Guros to the forget the bird people's name, and the Ritos and the man, I'm bad with names. The fish women, fish people. Zorons? Zoras. Close enough. And then Hyruleans. And then of course we got the king as well. So we got we never actually introduced to Zelda's mom, Zelda, right? Zelda's mom?
No, not really.
So we don't really know anything about her. So we know about the king. We know about the...
I forgot about Wind Waker. Wind Waker would be good too.
Yeah, so there's a lot of jumping off points that they can really start off of. And it's a more, what's the word for it? Like present day, people know about Breath of the Wild, right? It is fresh on people's mind. people already know someone about it and they can really jump off that point. While people like my wife have no idea what Ocarina of Time is.
I know what would even be better than Breath of the Wild.
Mm.
The one that they did, what was it, the Age of Calamity, where all the heroes were still alive and everybody was having to work together. That would be a great one.
Is that the like the Warrior Kingdom or Zelda Warrior game? Like with all them, like you play it in the other people that are fighting in that timeline with Calamity? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That one.
The Age of Calamity was when all the heroes were still alive, Zelda and Link were kicking, and everybody was trying to fight off different things.
Yeah, and you could play as like any of the other heroes at the same time. Yeah, I love those games. I don't know why those games needed as much love as they should have. Yeah, I just don't think many people know about that one. So maybe a movie would allow for people to come to figure out, oh, there is an actual game of this and go try it out.
Right.
Yeah, that would be a real good point. I just don't know thematically or how they would show that in a movie, because that game is very action packed and there is a couple lines being spoken but not very much shown. I still love that game. That game was so much fun. So yes, I if they don't do Breath of the Wild, I would like them to do Ocarina of Time, because that is, you know, that is not my most loved game. I feel like that game is so iconic. Even though the Twilight Princess was iconic, even though A Link to the Past was, love that game, and of course you can't forget the original Zelda game from the Nintendo days. There was not very much of a story there, but you know, it's still one of the most iconic things. How do you tell a story where there's almost is none really like showing this? Maybe it's a little text, but otherwise all I knew is go around collecting items to get to the next boss.
But see, that might not be a bad thing in this case. Think about it. You know where he's going and what he's doing. But you can't. How do you fuck up a story that you have to write to fit the game?
Oh, that's true.
You know how we're always complaining, oh, they're fucking it up. That's not how it went. There's nothing to fuck up. As long as they do the same actions, you can put any story in there and it'd be fantastic.
Yeah. And of course, the person that made Zelda is heavily got his hands into it. And I feel like more companies should let the person that made the franchise dip their hands into it and make sure that they're steering it in their idea of direction, because he absolutely has to do something right. The game is very popular. Why would they go and not let the guy that made the game, the franchise as big as it is, have his hands and his way in the movie?
Right. I agree. It lends a touch of authenticity to it too.
Okay. So everybody has an idea now. Everybody's been coming up with who they want to play the main four casts, or the main three casts. Sorry, three casts.
Yeah.
Link, Zelda, and Ganon. Ganon is a person that a lot of people have different views on who can play it, and I know that. A lot of people want a certain person, and I have a couple picked myself, and a lot of people want to Zelda. Zelda is, I told my wife, Zelda is a very young, beautiful, she's very facial featured. She's a gorgeous woman. She is not just like this elderly woman. So she has to be.
But you also have to find somebody that has that air of, I will stomp a mud hole in your ass. Because when shit hits the fan, usually at the end of every Zelda game, there's a Zelda with a bow whooping somebody's ass.
Yeah. So she has to be heroic, but same time being an elegant princess. Because she does get captured. She's not that strong, but she does get captured. But she needs to be a woman that looks like she is fierce, but yet beautiful at the same time.
Right.
And of course, then we got Link, what normally is a silent protagonist. Someone that doesn't say nothing, but that's pretty much all he does. So how are we gonna get someone that has that voice at the same time that would say, this is Link, when there's never been a voice behind that character?
Which ever. It's kind of a double-edged sword. So in that situation, you can't go wrong with the voice, but in that situation, you can't go right either.
Yeah, because
everybody that plays Legend of Zelda, if you don't know, there's a reason why Link doesn't have lines. That's why if he does speak, it's text. Because Link was meant to have the voice that you create in your head for Link.
Yes.
That is why the guy created the way he created it. He even stated the shit.
Mm-hmm.
So now, how do you find someone to be Link that sounds like me in my head?
Yes. It sounds like that every person that played the game is like, I am Link. I am that character. You will hear your voice before you hear that actor's voice. But when that actor plays that character, they will be established as the new, this is Link. That is going to be a hard bar to hit.
That's a lot of fucking pressure.
Yes.
I mean, I know actors that's been doing this shit for years that would look at that and go,
yeah,
I don't want that pressure.
Even for Ganon. Or,
yeah.
His voice has not been here for years, but then I heard his voice in Breath of the Wild, and even though it was a huge, very well-known actor, Matthew, not Matthew, he's a GM for Critical Role. I forget him. I can't forget his name. Anyways, his voice is powerful. He can do pretty much almost no wrong in the voice, right? The guy's been doing it since he was a teenager almost. And I heard his voice for the first time, and even then I was like, he sounds good. He sounds professional. But some reason in my head, it still doesn't sound like Ganon. Like, it still doesn't have that, like, I am fearful of this guy. Because I've been fighting him for years. In every single game I've ever played, I've been beating this guy's butt, and he's been stopping me, forcing me, and kicking my keister left and right until the very end. When I hear his voice, I'm like, that's not him. That's not the feeling that I want to hear.
Nope.
His
You're
voice is
looking
great.
for that actor's voice that gives you the same feeling that every Final Fantasy fan gets when they hear the music for Sephiroth. Oh, shit. That's what if you don't get that feeling when you hear it, it's not right.
Yeah, the voice actor was Matthew Mercer. Again, wonderful voice actor. I will never ever be good as him, even if I got trained professionally for the rest of my life. Guys, awesome. But his voice is, I hear his voice and I hear Matthew. That's all I hear. I hear him. I'm like, that's Matthew. I don't hear Ganon. So, and of course, Zelda. She was his last game. I don't think she did, the actor did great the first game. The second one, I think she stepped up her notch. I think she got better, which is good. Takes a long time to get, to get good at a character. But now I heard Zelda in that one. Will I be able to hear a Zelda from a movie and be able to establish it and separate myself between which Zelda it is? And again, each Zelda, each Link are their own Link or Zelda. They're just in the bloodline. Just so happen their names were just so happen to be Link and Zelda. It just so happened to be that way. It's just so weird.
Yeah. So now let's jump into this. Now you have your wife's list.
Yeah, right here.
I have my wife's picks.
Mm-hmm.
I have my picks, and you have your picks. Now, what do we want to do? We want to pick one of the three, and then each of us give one option and then discuss it, or do you just want to go, all right, this is your options for Zelda, this is my options for Zelda? How do you want to do this?
Well, I'm gonna go for Ganon first because I think the Zelda and Link would be a little more spicy. But this one right here, I was agree with my wife. Now, my wife had 3 people for several different characters, and I would like to see, but it doesn't have to be because the image that you sent me looks great. I might put that up in the screen for everybody to see it a little bit later on. But I think if not the guy from the image, Jason Momoa would be probably a good Ganon.
I would agree with that. But I would think, this is just my personal thing, he would come second to the guy in the image.
Yeah, that would be
because like I look at him and think, fuck. And I've heard his voice in movies.
It's a very deep voice.
Where he plays the villain. And you can hear him before you see him, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. And then for any Gorons out there, just so you know, the Goron, the big rock people, if I'm saying the Goron, Gerudo, Gorons. The Gorons,
Gorons.
The Rock or Batista. Just because they're the big, bulky, goofy guys in pretty much every movie.
I can see The Rock being a great Daruk.
Mm-hmm.
I can see him playing Daruk fantastically.
Yeah, because like each iteration of the games, the Gorons are normally a different Goron, but they're sort of in the fall of the bloodline. But yeah, if you do Breath of the Wild, yeah, I could see that. He has that thing. And of course, CGI will become a play in the movie. It might be live action, but there's still gonna be CGI. You just no way you can do big rock, goofy looking arm, small leg guy and not have CGI with it. Like they're gonna have to do CGI. There's no way they're gonna do just all real prosthetics. Now, you would like to see what's the guy's name? I'm not familiar with his name. For Ganon.
For Ganon is I'm trying to think of Idris Elba.
Idris?
Idris. It's IDRIS.
All right. And he played in he was in Knuckles in Sonic.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, he has a very, very deep, guttural, very demanding voice.
He's got that voice that makes you go, I don't know if I can do, you know.
Yeah,
he's got that voice.
He's a beefy, demanding voice, and